First story. A taxi driver said, I was working like every day in my car, asking God for sustenance to return home, and when the working hours were completed, I decided to return. But today's income was little, so I thanked God and walked on my way home. And if a man stopped me to give him a ride somewhere, I am a taxi driver, and I was tired. But I stopped because I remembered my lack of income this day, and I wish I hadn't. When the man got in the front seat, I got ready to walk, but he stopped me and said something that shocked me. Wait until my wife and children get in. But when I stopped for him, I didn't see them, so I thought maybe they would come after him. But the thought quickly disappeared when the back door of the car opened on its own, and a few seconds later, it closed. I started sweating and shocked, and I started reciting verses, and the man said to me, Don't be afraid. My wife is a jinn, and she is a Muslim, and I have children, and I'm taking her to her parents' house. How can a human being marry a fairy? 100 thoughts came to me, and I wondered what her family's house is like. He pulled me out of my deep thinking by saying, I will help you find the house. I will help you find the house. You must not know where it is. I said, Yes. And there was silence, and the man was giving me directions until we reached an empty piece of land with many orchards around it. And they got out of the car and gave me a large amount of money and thanked me for the ride and said, Do not tell anyone about this place. It is a village where my wife's family lives, and I have not told anyone about that place since the incident. Second story. A young man and his wife went to attend the wedding of one of the wife's friends. It was far from the city, and the road to it was long, but they arrived at the wedding and had a lot of fun, and it was late. The bride's parents suggested they stay overnight, but the husband didn't give in to their opinion and insisted on his stubbornness, and they set off in their car. In the middle of the dark road, the car stopped because they ran out of gas. They tried to walk to look for a gas station, but they couldn't find one. After a long wait, they found a man, so they asked him for gas. The husband thanked him and told his wife that it was at least a good distance to reach the main street, and they set off again. But this time the car broke down. The husband started to get angry and threw words at his wife, accusing her of being the one who insisted on attending the wedding, and she was no less verbal. She accused him of being stubborn. If they had stayed the night at her friend's house, none of this would have happened. They got out of the car and started walking. The street was dark, lonely, and cold. There was no light except moonlight. The fear of animal sounds and the atmosphere around them began to increase until the first car passed from this area. It was a truck, so they ran after it and begged the driver to drive them to the main street. They got in, and he was very strange, not talking or looking at them. He began to increase the speed and wanted to hit the trees, so they screamed and said, Hit the brakes. So he lifted his robe and revealed his legs and hit the brakes. But here was the surprise. His legs are goat legs. So they screamed and came down running and screaming for great distances until they were very tired and stopped to catch their breath. And they found an old woman working in her garden, so they asked her for water, and also to tell them how long before they reached the main street. She gave them water and said, When the light began to appear in the sky and the sun revealed its first rays, the old woman's feet became clear. Yes, yes, goat's feet. They looked at each other and released their legs to the wind, and after a while of running, they found a resting place full of people. So they said hello and sat down near them and told them what happened, and he said, You mean goat's feet like this? And everyone's feet were goat's feet. After a while they got tired, and saw a woman and a young man carrying firewood and walking on the road, and they started running, but the woman called out to them and stopped them and asked them where they came from. But the funny thing here is that they asked her to reveal her feet, or they would not tell her anything, so she revealed that they were human feet and laughed a loud laugh and said, So you passed the village of the jinn? Yes, it is a village of the jinn, and they own its orchards and land and everything on it. And they are harmless, but they do not like humans intruding on them, so they scare them with goat feet until they leave their village. In the end, the woman drove the man and his wife to the main street and they returned to the city.